Let's take a moment to kind of look back at some of the flooding that we have seen in recent weeks. This has been something that was historic when you're looking at all of these areas of Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri, and that's what led to so many of these flooding visuals and the stories that we have shared with you on Fox Weather over the last 2 to 3 weeks. And Tennessee was one of those spots that got hit the worst. So let's take it there now into the Volunteer State, where we have an incredible story that emerged in the aftermath of this month's historic flooding. As the rivers continue to swell in the western portion of the state, one family in the small town of Bogota actually took flood preps into their own hands. Brothers Justin and Tucker Humphrey, using farm machinery, plastic sheeting, and lessons passed down by their late father, spent days building a dirt levee around their childhood home. And when the water came and neighbors were forced to evacuate, their house stood as a dry island in a sea of floodwater. The only one left completely clear, as you see from that vantage point. Joining us now is Justin and Tucker Humphrey, the brothers behind that flood defense, to talk about how they did it and what it means for their family and the Bogota community moving forward. Justin, before that rain even started, you and your brother began prepping the levee system around your mom's home. How far in advance did you start, and what went into that overall preparation process?
Yes, sir. We started on the Sunday previous to the flooding, which gave us roughly a little over 24 hours before the water was at our back door. We knew from previous experience that if we were going to get moving, we had to. So we were forced with a struggle of dry dirt, actually, and it raining previously. So we waited to the very last minute that we possibly could to try to get the best structure that we could. So once it got to where we were running out of time, we just had to try and do our best.
Yeah, and I mean, this is in honor of your late father. He had taught you how to build this levee, before. What was going through your mind as you were following through his footsteps and ultimately able to save your childhood home?
Well, from my experience personally, the strategic side of it, the structural side of it, was more my forte, and my younger brother here, Tucker, he's the excavator expert. So we put our minds together and we put our what we both were better at, and really anchored down and did exactly as we were taught. Like you said, we had previous knowledge from our father passed down from 3 other flood waters that we learned from. And like I said, I did my part. He by far did his part. And good Lord willing, and we were able to keep it dry.
I got to ask you, you said you've seen this 3 times. Has it ever been to this level in intensity? I mean, when we look at aerial views, your place is the only one that was left with dry. I mean, was there a moment of doubt also when you were looking at this?
There were times that there were doubt. There were times that we thought at any moment it was going to be turned from bad to worse. But he stayed at it hours on end, as well as I did. And we just kept faith in God, kept faith that he had, his will be done. And first and foremost, you lose, win, or draw. It was going to be what he had planned to be, and we were just the instruments that were trying to keep it dry.
And now that you have done this, right, you've executed, and we saw in your small town, I mean, everybody pitched in to help with the supplies and the support. Can you speak about what that means to have that support from your town? Or are there more kind of neighbors that are saying, hey, next time this goes around, is there any chance that we could build something like this?
I'll let you take it. I mean, yes, the ones that have the resources, the excavators, the equipment. I mean, of course, as long as we know ahead of time the river forecast and can get ahead of it, then, anybody would build one if they could. But like you said, community chipped in, family chipped in, brought what we needed, and we got it done.
There were a numerous amount of people that gave out of their own pockets to get supplies and to get to us, boats, whatever means possible to get these supplies to us. And it was by far not just us, not just he and I. It was by far a community effort. outreach of neighbors, family members, complete strangers, just helping out. It was incredible. To know that you're in a small town with that kind of support is a very humbling feeling to have.
It's incredible to know that the town and the community has your back when you need it the most. I want to ask you, Justin and Tucker, was your mom at this home, and how was she doing throughout all of this?
No, sir, she wasn't here.
Okay.
My little brother and I, we made a quick decision that if we were going to pull this off, that was going to be one thing less that we had to worry about. So she stayed at my house, which is about 10 minutes away from here. A lot higher elevation, not in the flood warning, in the floodplain. So we made the quick decision to get her out on that Sunday that we started, and to make sure that was one thing off our plate that we didn't have to worry about. Because you got to think, here what we did was around 3 acres, and to have the amount of pressure and the amount of water that was surrounding us, it was enough on our plate to just have to worry about he and I about our safety if bad went to worse. So we went ahead and from my dad's past experience when we were younger, that was something that happened right away. So we kind of, again, followed in his footsteps and took care of the most important things, which is family.
That's right. That was a good move. Bring your mom in. Real quickly, just want to ask you, because you brought it up, 3 acres. You saved the house, but the rest of the property, are you guys doing repairs? What ended up ultimately happening?
Go ahead.
A mile down the road, our farm shop, it got hit pretty hard. Our grandmother's house, she'd been there for 71 years, along with 60 other houses here in the community that got hit, and everybody's starting to tear it back down and restart again.
The rebuilding process is underway, but as you had mentioned, take care of family first. The most important, you can rebuild all of that yet again. Justin and Tucker, Humphrey, thank you for not only sharing your time, but truly your story and giving everybody an opportunity to think about how they can kind of harden their property ahead of an event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.